There's been a lingering concern regarding the inability to reload missiles in U.S. warships at sea. Currently, the warships have to return to base for this purpose. This issue has again come into focus with the U.S. Navy's recent operations in the Red Sea. Arleigh Burke-class destroyers had fired more than 100 Standard Family surface-to-air missiles from Mark 41 cells at Houthi missiles and drones for interception. This clearly indicates that against a near-peer adversary like China, in a large-scale conflict, frontline American warships could run out of missiles very quickly. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why Congress is pushing the U.S. Navy on at-sea rearmament. Let's get started. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted VPN brands worldwide that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte, an industry-leading Big Four auditing firm. NordVPN provides an encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy by preventing external entry to your internet traffic, as well as enabling you to access content that's blocked based on geolocation. Best of all, with one NordVPN account, you can secure up to 6 devices at the same time. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive savings by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Mark 41 VLS Vertical Launch System is a key asset of American warships. The cells can be used to deploy a variety of different kinds of weapons, like ESS-M or Evolved Sea Sparrow missile for air defense, Tomahawk long-range cruise missiles, RUM-139A VL ASROC for anti-submarine warfare, as well as standard series air defense missiles such as SM-2 and SM-3. So these cells accommodate both offensive and defensive weapons. American Ticonderoga-class has 122, whereas Arleigh Burke-class has 96 of these cells. Currently, a warship needs to return to a port or reach a safe, calm harbor where it can reload its VLS from a support ship and be a safe distance from threats from adversaries. For example, in the Pacific Theater, the U.S. Navy warship may have to sail to Guam or even Yokosuka or Hawaii or maybe Australia. This means that ships will be out of the fight for days or weeks with time lost to transit, but also with the added potential enemy threats from air or space. The loss of a warship that needs to travel far to a safe harbor to get its resupply of missiles is a critical problem. A congressional subcommittee stated that the U.S. Navy is not moving fast enough to figure out how to better push munitions to its ships at sea and wants to know what's being done to fix the problem. The committee is so concerned about the issue that it ordered the Comptroller General of the United States to assess the Navy's efforts to develop a rearm at sea capability. The review would examine current efforts and future plans to develop this capability, cost and schedule for these investments, and alternative options like uncrewed technologies. A planned briefing on this has to be provided to the House Committee on Armed Services no later than February 15, 2025. It's not that the U.S. Navy has been sitting idle. The U.S. Navy has been pursuing the capability to reload a warship's VLS while at sea and closer to the maritime fight. VLS reloading experimentation has involved a number of Pacific Fleet ships. In 2022, a test was conducted by the U.S. Navy to learn how to resupply warships with missiles during a high-intensity conflict. The Military Sealift Command-sponsored reloading test paired USS Spruance DDG-111 with the offshore support vessel MV Ocean as a test platform to support logistics experimentation for fuel, stores, passengers, and ordnance delivery. Commander Robinson stated that in 2021, the dry cargo ship USNS Amelia Earhart TAKE-6 and guided missile destroyer USS John S. McCain DDG-56 experimented with VLS reloading at sea. That was preceded in 2019 by 2 separate VLS reloading tests, which were pierside and protected harbor only. There were no open ocean events. 3 years earlier, in 2016, the Navy put VLS reloading to the test with initial experimentation with the auxiliary ship USNS Bob Hope, TAKR 300, and the guided missile cruiser USS Bunker Hill, CG-52. As per figures provided by the U.S. Navy, in fiscal year 2023, the service allocated $3.9 million in research, test, development, and evaluation (RDT&E) funds for what's known as the Modular Transportable Rearming Mechanism (TRAM) system, with another $12.4 million set aside for fiscal year 2024. It's uncertain if any funds have been requested for fiscal year 2025. TRAM, in its current form, is designed to work with existing U.S. Navy at-sea replenishment ships and can reload VLS cells on surface ships in conditions up to Sea State 5. The system employs an articulated crane capable of lifting and rotating a missile canister vertically before lowering it into the launcher cell. According to the Beaufort scale, Sea State 5 involves moderate winds 17 to 21 knots, ranging from 6 to 8 feet. Auxiliary ships like the fleet of TAKEs and LMSR vessels with systems like TRAM could be positioned tactically, and these could be used to resupply warships like Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, Ticonderoga-class cruisers, and Zumwalt-class destroyers. Rivals like China and Russia have been working on ways to take on the U.S. Navy. For example, when operating close to China, the U.S. Navy will not have an easy time, apart from having to contend with rapidly growing People's Liberation Army-Navy fleet. It will have to counter ground-based long-range anti-ship missiles. China has 2 missiles that are specifically designed to neutralize supercarriers or large warships, DF-21D and DF-26B. Russia also has several types of long-range anti-ship missiles. In some cases, multiple interceptor missiles need to be fired against a single incoming threat. It's evident that the U.S. Navy needs to have all its warships loaded with optimum firepower to thwart any aggression like a Chinese attempt to invade Taiwan. The ability to reload warships in the sea is much needed. It'll be interesting to see if the U.S. Navy can fast-track this.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.